I agree. Tony Khan should be doing what you just said. I 100% agree. But what's Tony Khan busy doing? Ariel Helwani sucks! Ariel! Tony Schiavone's a more credible journalist, Ariel! Ariel! Clown. Carry on.
Oh, God. I guess we should talk about that now. Let's talk about that. Get the clip ready, pal. You're going to clip it right here.
All right. Here we go.
All right. So I'm going to pull up the tweet here of what Mr. Tony Khan said. And for those of you who don't know, I'm sure you all know, but so yesterday, Mr. Khan tweeted, I believe this was late at night. It was like February 17th. It was like 3 a.m. You know, Tony Khan's probably hanging out with some hookers, doing blow, taking a couple of shots of vodka, you know, whatever he does in his free time. And he decides to pop out his old cellular device and call Ariel Helwani a fraud. And I quote, he says, "You're a fraud, Ariel Helwani. You're as legitimate of a reporter as Tony Schiavone." And then Ariel Helwani says something along the lines of, you know, I thank you for watching. Don't listen to him, Schiavone. You're a legend in my book. Something like that, which is great. Isn't it funny that this guy buried his own talent? And this is a guy Tony Schiavone, who's been around the wrestling business longer than Tony Khan has been alive. Tony Schiavone's got over 40 years of experience in this business. Tony Khan's, I think he just turned 40 or something. And this guy's burying him on Twitter. And you know, whatever Tony Khan says goes. So if Tony Khan said that Tony Schiavone sucks, all of a sudden everybody would forget that Tony Schiavone's a legend. All of those people that follow Tony Khan and AEW fandom, they'd be burying Tony Schiavone too. So, you know, that tribalism exists, pal. Nevertheless. But then the kicker is when he tells Ariel Helwani, good luck with the unbiased journalism. Are you kidding me, bro? Are you kidding me? You talking about unbiased journalism when you got Dave Meltzer on your payroll? You got Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez literally cashing AEW checks. They're cashing checks from Jacksonville, Florida, addressed to them. And he's talking about unbiased journalism. Bro, the EVPs, their finishing move is named after Dave Meltzer. And you're talking about unbiased journalism. Like, and we all know the infamous segment, the infamous interview on Helwani's show where he was asking Tony Khan questions. What was he asking Tony Khan? Says this. Yes, the all-out fight situation. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. So he's asking Tony Khan about the all-out fight situation. And Tony Khan's just like refusing to answer his questions. You know, and I guess that there's a bias there somehow. Like he's asking you the fair questions. You know, like if that was Triple H up there sitting across from Helwani, Triple H would have said, you know, hey, we're working on it. We're gonna do the right things. We're gonna get everything situated. Everything's good. But no, Tony Khan got mad, got offended, got upset. And nevertheless, yeah. So.
Kevin, can I just ask you a quick question?
Yes.
You're someone who you've studied journalism. You're in the loop with more so like PR and the kind of, I guess, I don't even know how to describe it. It's more so you're very clued in with this sort of stuff. From someone like Tony Khan's perspective, this is someone who runs the, I guess, competitor, the rival to WWE, the second biggest pro wrestling company in the world. What does tweeting that achieve?
I don't know.
That achieves nothing. Because I'm looking at that thinking, because he tweeted that literally about 30 minutes into SmackDown, right? I didn't see that tweet and think, damn, I've got to watch Rampage now. Oh my God, Tony Khan tweeted that? Hell yeah, I'm watching AEW next week. No one saw that tweet and thought that. So all 99% of people with a functional brain thought when they saw that Tony Khan tweet was, well, that's an unprofessional clown who runs that company. That's the guy who runs AEW, and he's getting all funny to Ariel Helwani, who's just busy doing his job on SmackDown, getting thunderous pops in Montreal as he's being featured on the show. Tony Khan's probably sitting there, half-baked, tweeting that, and he's gone, oh, and then he replied to some guy, and he tried to, like, own this guy who replied. It was sad. Kevin, wrestlers are just using this guy to make money, and that's all they're using him for. Because, like, Kevin, no wrestler's watching what happened with Sami Zayn last night on SmackDown or tonight in Montreal and goes, you know, I could work for AEW. Yeah, the money's nice. That Khan bloke will pay me some ridiculous amount of money, which I'm not worth. I can take that. Or I can be getting 17,000 people in my hometown chanting my name and acting like I'm a god. Like, Kevin, I don't know. Back over to you. I think I asked a question. I didn't know what happened, but moral of this story, what does it achieve? Tony Khan doing that?
Nothing. It doesn't do anything for anybody. And like, that's something you show that to like, someone who doesn't know anything about wrestling, and you're like, hey, bro, check this out. You know, this is the owner of AEW, the biggest competition to WWE. Here he is calling out a journalist. You know, look at that tweet there, pal. And then you're gonna see, like, people are gonna see that, and they're gonna be like, bro, well, that's a joke. Like, this guy's a billionaire coming at a journalist for what? Calling a journalist a fraud because he's on the competition show? Like, really? And it's similar to Eric Bischoff. When Eric Bischoff was doing, like, the Raw, Vince fears ratings, Raw fears ratings. That is similar to that kind of stuff, in a way. But with Tony Khan, it's just like, what?
Rent-free. It's rent-free in this thing called the head. Rent-free, pal. Yeah. You don't see Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, the guy who owns the NBA. You don't see Adam Silver going, at Shams Charania is a fraud and a scumbag. At Adrian Wojnarowski's a better journalist. You don't see crap like this. Why? Tony Khan at like 8:30 p.m. on a Friday night watching SmackDown. He's clearly watching SmackDown. And Tony, take some notes while you're there, because SmackDown right now is better than whatever the hell you're doing, than Saraya spray painting Tony Storm's ass in the main event of Dynamite. Whatever crap you're putting on. Oh, Bryan Danielson's got to go through the gauntlet to get to MJF. Oh, that's creative. We haven't seen that with every other MJF storyline the past 3 years. Like, what is this, Kevin? And this guy's busy. Oh, Ariel Helwani's not a good journalist. I'm not watching your show. Your show sucks. I'm watching WWE. Anyway.
Yeah, that was sad. It's sad.
Pathetic.
Most professional owners and professional executives in sports and in the world of entertainment, they look at journalists for what they are. They're part of the media. They're a necessary entity. And that's it. Like, Ariel Helwani is necessary. Like, without journalists, if you buy all the journalists and you have no journalists that are in the middle, or hell, if you don't have any journalists that are on the other side, what would wrestling be if Tony Khan owned all the journalists and could say whatever he wanted? Well, what would life be? What would life be? We'd have another dictatorship. That's how shit goes south when you lose the media.
Well, Kevin, you couldn't say, this is the other thing that I look back on now with a bit of retrospect. You couldn't say anything bad about AEW for, it was basically up until the media scrum, really about over 3 years, really, where all the coverage of AEW was positive. And you'd say anything, even neutral. We'd say neutral things. We wouldn't even be that scathing compared to some people. I mean, Destructor was in the chat. You buried them a bunch and got a bunch, like, some copyright stuff for that. Like, we'd say neutral stuff and get flamed, and you get, like, outlawed by this whole fan base. They make it seem like you're some satanic scumbag. Yeah. It's like, this is not a sustainable environment. It's not healthy. Yeah. It's just not, pal. Like, we watch the show as rational people and go, that doesn't make sense. I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost like you can't say anything bad about Roman now too, right?
He needs help to win every match. Therefore, he's disqualified. When my favorite wrestlers need help, it's fine. When Eddie Guerrero needed Goldberg and no way out, that was fine. Was that match not as good as it could have been because Goldberg got involved?
Have I ever said that?